Jörgelt Kivano Kujvaj. Boy, you know what I gotta tell you? I said that I wasn't gonna do these videos. I've noticed that in doing these videos now, it seems like the camera has a hard time focusing. But anyway, um, start of another day, and yeah, I gotta tell you that to some extent, maybe to some sick extent, I actually enjoy doing these videos. It's rather oh, I don't know what the word is, maybe therapeutic or something like that. But as I came down to do my video, I thought that there are probably different reasons, different people tune in. Alexa, volume two. There's probably different reasons different people tune in and watch this. And I've been watching the daily views. And what's interesting is, whereas I thought I was getting, like 100 or so views a day, some of the videos get upwards to well over 200, close to 300 views in a day. And boy, I'm getting up there to be like Skippa Smith in the Villages. Skip uploads a video, and he gets several hundred people looking at that web video every day. And interestingly enough, or perhaps not surprising, that he does that because his videos are all about the villages. And if you're into the villages and you like the villages, then I could see where a daily video about the villages would be interesting. But anyway, but I think that insofar as my own videos, the travel part of it aside, I mean the travel aspect, speaks for itself. You'll have those people that just love travel and live for travel, and you'll have those people that can't travel and will live vicariously through you. So there's that appeal, and then you've got the foodies out there, the people that are into the food, what I'm eating and where I'm eating, and that kind of stuff. And then you get the and and then you get those in the audience that just like to see me standing in my bathrobe. And I was talking to somebody the other day that is a regular watcher of my video, and I won't call this person out, but I made the mention of this individual just likes to see me in my bathrobe every morning, and and boy, the reaction from this individual. I'm trying not to say him or her, but the reaction from this individual was rather telling, so to speak. But anyway, so then you have those people that the people that like to see me in my bathrobe every morning, and then you have the people that are interested in the business aspect, the business thing. What am I doing with my business? And what else would you have? And then of course you just have the curiosity seekers. You have the curiosity seekers that are just kind of interested in what am I going to say, or what have you. And then you have the portion of the people out there that I'm sure you have a certain sick portion of the people out there that are just what do they call it, negative nillies or something like that, that just have negative negative opinions or thoughts of my videos, but they watch them nonetheless. So anyway, the cost of doing business. Hmm. Over the years, you learn you learn certain things, and there's an expression. Skip Smith told me the other day I asked Skip something, and I said, "How come you didn't tell me that, Skip?" And he said, "You're not in my inner circle." I said, "What inner circle?" He said, "My inner circle. You're not in Skip Smith's inner circle." And I thought, okay, I'm not in your inner circle. I said, "Why not?" Because but you just tell everybody everything. You're not in my inner circle. So, but you know, so the inner circle. One of the things I learned a long time ago, at a very early age, is your what's called your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence, and that's you know you are in great part who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a lot of intelligent people, chances are you're going to be well, I don't know if surrounding yourself with a bunch of intelligent people is going to make you intelligent. I guess you could say it would, because you learn from those people. But your sphere of influence, I've always tried to surround myself with successful people, and not only successful in the sense of material wealth, but just people that are successful in general in different aspects of their life, albeit their spiritual side, their business side, their social side, what have you. So I tend to be conscientious of my sphere of influence. And one thing that I learned along the way was a concept or an expression that says, you know, it's the cost of doing business, the cost of doing business, and you know that's something that's always challenged me a little bit, because I have this frugal side to me. But then again, I realized that hmm, I realized that you know there's something to be said about the saying, you got to spend money to make money. You got to spend money to make money, and that is boy, that is ever so true. And I find myself in a situation now where my clients, I've got about the better part of let's just say 100 clients. I find myself in a situation now where research has kind of led me down this path that there's a particular service that would benefit my clients. It's without going into detail. So there's a service that would benefit my clients, and I've got a couple choices. I have a few choices. One is to just pay for that service out of my pocket, which is something like $1,000 a month, several $100s a month, better part of $10,000 a year to pay for this out of my pocket. The other thing is to obtain what's called bulk pricing and go directly to my clients and let my clients do it on a subscription basis, so to speak. So I have them sign up for this optional service. And then if I do that, it's beholden to me, or then I need to sell them on that service. So that involves time. But anyway, so that's the thing that's been going on through my mind right now. Do I just incur the cost? Do I eat the cost, or do I pass it on, or do I just raise my rates? Maybe I don't pass it on. Maybe I just employ the service and raise my rates. Hmm. But as the saying goes, that's right, Oz. We'll see. All right. I went to see my CPA yesterday, and that's always interesting. It's always interesting. You go to see your CPA, and it's kind of like you got to lay out what I made and what I spent, and then come in and come out, and the better prepared you are, the more appreciative the CPA is. And I go down to for the second year now. This is the second year I go down to H&R Block, H&R Block, and there's a you know, when you think about H&R Block, you think it's the budget, you know, it's the budget accountant thing. You know, I know there's people out there probably watching this video thinking, H&R Block? Are you kidding me? You go to H&R Block? And you know, I look beyond the name, and I look at the individual. And the individual that came across my path last year, her name is Jean, Jean, I think. And she's a woman probably well into her 60s, and the very studious type. And she knows her stuff, or at least it would seem that she knows her stuff. And she's very, very diligent in what she does. But it was interesting as I sat there and I talked to her about different aspects of last year's tax considerations. And one of the big discussions was the camper. The camper. I paid $30,000 for the camper. Can the camper be written off? In part or in its entirety? And I told her about the trip that I took. I said, you know, I pulled up a map, Google Maps, and I have this map of all the little markers of my clients all over the United States. And it is. I mean, you look at the map and there's these little markers all over the United States of my clients. And I said last year, I said I took this beautiful lady named Yanae, and we got this camper and we went all around America, and we did we did videos for YouTube, and we called on my clients. And she said, did you get any business from the trip? I said, yeah, I got a lot of business from the trip. And anyway, so long story short, she concluded that she's going to look into it, but she concluded that because the camper has a kitchen, because the camper has a bathroom or a toilet, it could be considered a write-off expense. You could write it off. And I showed her the YouTube thing, and interestingly enough, one thing that I learned about doing taxes and doing a business and writing off business expenses, you can write off, if your here comes your 50-cent word, if your expenses are commensurate with your income or thereabouts. Okay, so if you're, for Skip Smith, that means that if your expenses are kind of equal to your income, if they kind of balance out, then you can write off your expenses if they're related to your income. But where the challenge often comes is you can't go out and for example, I couldn't take a trip around the world and spend $100,000 and justify it because I had $5,000 worth of income from YouTube videos. That wouldn't go over too well with the IRS. So it's got to be within reason. You know, the amount of money that you spend on travel has to be somewhat close to the amount of money that you make. And when I say somewhat close, if you can show a trend, if you can show a graph of your income consistently going up, then you can justify a slight margin of expense to income. But anyway, so she asked me, she said, where's the camper now? Where is the camper now? And I said, it's sitting in a client's warehouse up in Ohio, waiting for me to pick it up. And that's what I'm going to do. But so anyway, she said that I could write that off. And then the subject of buying a truck came up, and I pulled up a picture of a 2019 Dodge Ram, and I said, could I write this off? And I told her about the difference between, I'm trying to decide, do I trade in my Buick? Do I trade in my Buick, which is probably a trade-in value of about 22, 23, 24,000. Do I trade in my Buick towards the purchase of the truck, which is about 65,000? Do I trade in the purchase, or do I just buy the truck outright? Just pay cash and just buy the truck outright. And interestingly enough, she said that it would be better if I'm going to use the truck just for business. So my annual trip around America, you know, the annual road trip, if I'm going to use the truck just for that purpose, then it would be better just to keep my Buick and to just write off the truck. But time will tell. Time will tell if I buy the truck or if I don't buy the truck. But you know, also something else along the lines of the cost of doing business. You know, I told her basically about the situation with Yane. And, you know, I generated over $20,000 worth of income for Yane last year. And I told her what I was doing. I told the CPA, I said, I have these clients and I have Yane. And all I'm basically doing is providing I'm indirectly providing a service for my clients via Yane. And I'm just moving the money from point A to point B. I'm not taking any portion thereof, but the benefit to me, or the compensation to me, is that it betters my clients. It makes my clients web presence in a better position with this service that Yane is providing. So her question was primarily, can Yane legally work? And the answer to the question is yes, Yane can legally work. So it was a win-win situation regarding that. So anyway, and last but not least, the real estate. How could I forget the real estate? So, and I'll just wrap this up. So the house value, the house that those of you that have been following this house situation, you know, I paid the $265 for the house, and I paid $15 for the furnishing, and my bottom line is $255. I'm willing to take a little bit of a loss. So when my realtor came over the other day, you know, the assessed value of this house, the actual assessed value of this house that for tax considerations is less than $200,000. I think the assessed value when I bought it at $265 was $230 or something like that. But anyway, so the assessed value is down. And when I sat talking with the realtor the other day, I asked her, I said, what about, you know, cancellation? You know, what about if I decide to cancel? And she said, oh, I have a zero fee. You know, I don't charge you anything if you want to cancel. I don't charge you anything. Cancel anytime. It's right there in the contract. Well, she sent me the contract yesterday to sign. And oftentimes you get a contract like that and you just kind of scan through, yeah, and then you sign it. Or maybe, you know, a guy like Harry probably doesn't. Harry probably has a family meeting. Harry probably gets all the family over to the house whenever he's put into position with the contract. Probably gets the family over to the house. The family that can't be there, they probably join in on Skype, okay? And they probably go, okay, everybody got your copy? Okay, section 11, paragraph 3, item A. All right, what do you think about this? But that seems like the kind of guy Harry is, you know. But anyway, Harry, you know I love you. But anyway, so I was I started going through this contract, and I asked her, I said, where is the thing about me canceling? And she said, oh, it's section 11, line 176 or something like that. So I'm going through it last night to sign it. And I'm looking, I get down to that paragraph. And it says that the seller can request cancellation. The seller can request cancellation. The broker may accept that request. It doesn't say the broker has to accept that request. It says the broker may accept that request. The seller can request cancellation. And then it does say that there would be no fee for canceling if the broker agrees. But the seller is subject to any marketing fees incurred for the property. It doesn't say how much the marketing fees are. It doesn't say anything along those lines. So, I looked at that and I thought, what a bunch of bullshit, for somebody to come over and say, oh yeah, cancel at any time, cancel at any time that I say you can cancel. And pay me for the photographer coming over, pay me for the full page ad in the newspaper, pay me for the the back cover of the monthly news magazine published around town, and what have you. The devil's in the details. The devil's in the details. So I told her that I'm going to, and I called her out on it, and she said, well, it's just a draft. It's not a draft. She said it's a standard template, that you use for listing real estate. And I said, well, it may be a standard template, but I'm going to show you a Tom Hall addendum. I'm going to show you a Tom Hall addendum to your standard real estate template. And I'm going to put together an addendum, that says the content of this addendum supersedes. Now you get 2 50-cent words for the day. The content of this addendum supersedes anything heretofore described in this contract, something like that, But what's the expression? If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. I think that's how it goes. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. But anyway, with that being said, I need to get on with my day and let you all do the same. So take good care, everybody. As my dad would say, have a wonderful day, and we will close out with a high hope. Here it is. Own your happiness. Own your happiness. Don't hitch your happiness to others. Don't link it to events outside your control. So don't link your happiness to others. Don't link your happiness to events outside your control. See the distinction between events and your reactions to them. Okay? You can control only the latter. So you can only control your reaction to the events, not your, the distinction between events and your reaction to them. Your happiness depends on you. Your happiness depends on you. Right now, Rob down in Melbourne, he's saying, that's right, Tom. That's right. My happiness depends on me. So the Leo Tolstoy said, if you want to be happy, be. That's it. If you want to be happy, be. So, as my dad would say, I love you all. Have a great day.